Right, welcome to day 9 of Sampey Builds a Micro House. We're just double checking, yep, that the camera is filming in portrait so that you don't get a sideways video like the other day. I'm not going to repeat that one because, well, it can't be stuffed. And we've done more shit. So, here's how things look now. Just having a look, having a talk to the bro. He's like, oh no man, I really want to see this with the two doors opening kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, well, fuck yeah. So what I've done is I've, as we said yesterday, I've taken option 2 and permanently attached, for now at least, as far as you permanently attach things with screws, the middle door section. We've created our door frame, added some cladding and stuff, and we've cladded the end. In here I have added not 3 but 4 wee braces to the ceiling. It's actually now slightly more rigid than the floor in some ways. As you can see, there's light shining through there where I missed with my screws going through and stuff. It's just kind of eyeballing it and trying to measure stuff, and yeah, just nothing Bog won't fix. And yeah, we're basically at the point now where I've just got to put this piece of cladding in between these 2 elements in the gap there, which we'll do after the door is on, because there's a little flex in here that I may need for using the door. So as it says, no pin till door flex. So door hanging. Yeah. We've got 4 hinges on because we're only doing 1 door, so instead of 3 per door we've got 4 hinges, so it'll be a bit more butty. Obviously all those locks I bought and stuff are, I've got 4 available. It was going to be on 2 doors and now it's available to just 1, so that's kind of cool as well. Haven't built the handle yet, we're just working through fitting. Last I've done 2 test fits, like actually screwing the hinges in. A lot of test fitting this morning when we were putting together our wee lintel bit here, and the little eaves bit sticking off the edge here and whatnot, and all that kind of thing. So I know that this door with the hinges fits into this gap, and there's a bit of space at the top because this is the shortest of the 3 doors. So what we're doing, and I will try for a 3rd time tomorrow morning when I'm fresh and not sore and tired and hot and just, it was a long day. I did a bunch of missions this morning, and then so I got out of here about 9:30. Buggered off to the hardware store, bought some masking tape, bought some more screws of the longer variety, big silver ones in there. What else did I get? And masking tape, and some wee brushes and stuff so I can do cutting in around the doors and stuff, as well as my paint rollers and whatnot that I've already got. So anyway, back to this door. What I've done is I've shimmed up just this piece of shitty chipboard off the old bookcases there. You can probably see under there on some blocks and whatnot, so it's just slightly higher than level with the floor. And then I've been playing around with card and now little thin bits of MDF shims, rest the door on them, line it up with the edge of the frame, put 2 screws in so it just holds it, and then try to shut it. The first time I tried to shut it, we got to this line here and it jammed. Well, that won't do. Took it out, re-leveled, played around a little bit, shimmed it up some more. Second time, I almost got it to close somewhere in here, and then it jammed again. So it's just a case of shimming it up high enough off the bottom so I can close it without smacking into my lintel at the top here. We may need to do a little bit of sanding, planing, chipping, swearing at this door to reshape it just a fraction to get it to fit, but I am hoping that we won't actually need to do that, and I can get it to just close tomorrow morning. And then I've got to cut the section of cladding, put that cladding on, and I can start bogging and prepping for paint, which I will hopefully be able to start tomorrow evening, and then work on more on Saturday and stuff. I'm not going to bother with interior painting, just the exterior to start with. Get it, bogged, painted, watertightish, and then we can start sleeping in here. And then work from there pretty much. So not a bad effort for 9 days of the build blog, and 6 of those actually spent building. Just had a chat with my bro about what I'm up to here. He gave me a few bits of advice, which is always useful. And he's the one who reckons I should totally have this opening as well, and I do have that gap space there, so we could bring this strut across, put a strut in here and have it all hinged out and working properly, or I could even just hinge this straight off of here, which was the original idea. He reckons what I should probably look at doing, if this keeps being an absolute son of a bitch, is actually take the framing out, get the doors in. But that's a problem. I mean, I've got to anchor them together or something to get that to work. But yeah, get the doors in and build a frame around the doors kind of thing, or something like that. So yeah, that's an option as well. But I'm this far through it, you know, I don't want to unscrew what I've built today. It was a pain in the ass to get together under this piece of cladding here. More beer, hang on a second. Oh god, that's good. Got a little block bit in there to shim that up. This brace on the lintel section there and the eave section is it's made of multiple random bits of shit. I put the blocks in first and then went, that's kind of crappy and not that strong, so cut a piece of block to fit in between the two little blocks, and we got that sort of in there. This joint here took ages to jerry-rig around with screws backwards and forwards, so there's holes everywhere where I've used screws to pin things and hold them in place and get them jigged, and then use that big silver power screws to actually, you know, get it pinned in. Obviously these bits of framing here have been pinned. I'll pull those screws out. Now that I've got the screws through from the ceiling, there's one in the middle of each bar, one into the edge of this bar, and then one into the edge of the actual runner frame along the edge of the wall there. So those were only just pinning the bottom of these little rafters anyway, and they look shit. So yeah, I'll pop all them out and then bog around the cracked bits of wood and stuff, and, you know, just neaten up. The thing with the bog, basically, what I realised was, based on my experience with the screws and stuff, now I was saying I should be able to assemble and disassemble this unit twice before we really started having problems with the screws. I'm a little concerned that that's actually more like once. So my next move from here will be to a more permanent, properly permanent site, although it's quite possible these guys are going to be here for at least a year, so we might do that. Point being that I feel pretty free going ahead and bogging cracks and little bits of pieces that might come apart later, because what will happen when I unscrew everything and pull shit apart is the bog will just shatter and pull out of the way, or it might stay attached. That'd be nice. Either way though, it won't interfere with deconstruction too much, and then we just reconstruct and bog some more again. Not a problem. Like when I do permanent fixture and stuff, and I'm less worried about being able to take this thing apart, one of the first things we'll do to the roof is coat it in several layers of butanol rubberized paint, or actual butanol, or fabric with paint soaked through it, or something like that, to like really seal it in. But speaking of bog, so you can see all our edges are wiggly and create that little L-shaped channel I was talking about the other day. That is a very, very bad idea rain-wise. I had a look at rounding them off like I was talking the other day, and that will be very, very labor intensive with sandpaper and swearing, and honestly I just can't be bothered. I'm trying to do things as easy and lazy as possible to speed the build, and so that I don't just get too ADD and just start slamming shit together and not giving a fuck, which I'm pretty close to doing already, to be honest. Doing this all by yourself is really, really difficult. It can be done, but I wouldn't recommend it. Definitely just an extra set of hands, like one extra dude on site, would make this so much quicker and easier. And for the things that you can do easily by yourself, then I can be doing that, and another guy can be doing some other one-person task, you know, so you'd really cut down on your build time. But I did want to see if it was possible to do this alone, and it just happens that, you know, all my mates have got real jobs here in Christchurch, so there's not a lot of time available for them to sort of come and give me a hand. And then on the weekends they're trying to do all the things you do on a weekend when you're working full-time during the week. So yeah, I'm a little short on help, and that's all right. I'm just working with that. So yeah, anyway, back to the bog thing. So for that upper section there, and so forth, and say this bit here, I'm just going to go ahead and bog into the L shape and then sand the bog to the curve. I'm going to bog in all these cracks and do all this kind of thing, and basically just cover up everything I did wrong or fucked up, so that we can paint and shit looks nice. And then, like I say, I'll just accept the fact that when I disassemble this and move it to another site, if and when that occurs, the bog will break, and I will have to rebog and do some repainting, which I was going to have to do anyway. I mean, like, if you're going to pull something completely apart that's all painted, the paint's going to crack at the edges and do all kinds of shit like that. But I bought extra paint and gear to ensure that I would have the gear to do that. So yeah, backing out here so we don't point the camera at my bro. Oh, you're grabbing your driver, sweet. The other thing's down, oh no, it's top corner. Just point this over here. Try not to get Rob on video, he's not very photogenic. I lie, he's much prettier than me. What are you looking for, bro?
Drive.
Oh, posi drive. That's with your desk. You told me to take it off the drill and put it on your desk, so I didn't lose it. Cool. Alrighty, so yeah, long story short, once we've got this door in place, which I hope to be able to do tomorrow morning without too much further hassle, and we've got that cladding on, I'm going to go around and bog everything all over the place and just not worry too much about where I'm putting it, apart from obviously don't put it inside screw holes, because that would really screw your day up. Pun, sort of, whatever. And yeah, that way I'll be able to get into painting and making things look a bit nicer and less rough. And just allow me to sort of unify all my surfaces and stuff, because we've now got 3 different kinds of wood in here. Speaking of which, the rafter thingies, so as you can see, they're quite old and rustic and clearly recycled. I thought about, I could afford to, but I thought about going and buying some more wood, but it was a bus mission this morning. I've really leaned on my bro here that was just coming through to borrow his, I'm borrowing his cordless to get his cordless back so he can do whatever he's doing over there. He's done 2 missions with me, big missions, getting like wood and doing things out to the hardware store, just grasses, which is real nice of him. His girlfriend also lives here, took me out to the store the other day to get some more stuff, and so I'm really sort of trying to just do for myself a bit and not lean on my friends too much. So today I got a ride in with him to work, and then I went to the bus station. I bussed out to the hardware store, bought some stuff, and because of that I was like, okay, I need 3 1.2 meter lengths of this that framing material over there that I've been using, possibly some more to make this in one piece, and blah blah blah, which I can carry fine, get on the bus and blah blah blah, bus back, and then walk back from the bus stop to here, and carrying all that wood in the heat, and I was like, not looking forward to that. And then I remembered he'd offered me a bunch of recycled wood that's sitting behind the house here, so I went and had a look at it, and I found those. They were all wrapped up in a vine and stuff, but I pulled them out and there wasn't any major rot in them or anything, so I just got the nicer ends when I was cutting them to length and sanded them off, made sure there was nothing goopy or mouldy attached to them or whatever. And there you go. Got some freebie gear in there, so that's cool. Otherwise, we've just got piles and piles of offcuts and random bits of shit from all the stuff we did. That's some of the material that's supposed to be on the back of the bookcases, if they're made according to spec. Obviously I put the way cool apply on the back of them, which I still might look at using on the floor in here, but that's just, yeah, that's stage 2. We've already discussed with the bro additional windows at the back here, because it is quite shady on the inside. That's not really critical for me, because that's going to allow me to lower the temperature in here somewhat, because through that wall is sun. And I tend to mainly actually live and work at night, and I have 4 LEDs to light this space in my work area, and I have diffuse daylight coming in through the doors there onto what will eventually be a little desk in there. So I'm not really worried about it being a bit dim in here, because most of the time we're going to need electric light anyway, because it's going to be the middle of the night. However, we might put a really small slit window in the top here. He's got some spare fishing tank glass that he's sort of offering and whatnot. I think that might be a bit large. I was just thinking like sort of maybe twice the thickness, the depth of that bit of framing there, so about 20 centimeters by the width of the wall almost. Just cut through the wall and make a wee framing recess and blah blah blah, and put a piece of glass and not opening or anything, just to let some more light in this side. or the much cooler and, you know, the 10-year-old kid in me wants to do, which is most of what this build is based around. 10-year-old kid in me wants to get a dome and just put it straight in the ceiling there, and that would actually be really, really cool. So I might have a look at some, you know, second-hand places and scout around the internet and see if I can find a second-hand plastic dome of some sort, and just pop that into the ceiling, because it would be pretty freaking kick-ass to be like lying here at night and looking out through a dome at the thing. Although I do know from friends who've done stuff similar that if you're going to do that, you need to be able to actually shut the dome off on the inside, so that, because otherwise it gets condensation all over it and then drops that on your face, which can be annoying. But yeah, so we've got lots and lots of ideas. Basically at this moment, to complete stage 1, all I want to do is get the door on, get the bogging done, and start painting the exterior and interior. Once that is complete, I will talk to my patron about how much money we have left and what we want to do for stage 2, which will also include obviously putting in the kitchenette, the vents that go with it, the shower and so forth. I've got enough money in the budget for stage 1 to get the basic vents for the house, which involves just getting a little laptop fan basically and putting it up in that corner somewhere, and another one down under there somewhere, so we're sucking cold air in from near the ground and blowing hot air out near the top of the structure. The idea is roughly to try and change out most of the air in here about once every 20 to 30 minutes, and that should keep things livable enough when it's hot. And then obviously for winter, we'll look at creating a micro heater system of some sort, but that's months and months away, so I'll worry about that when it pops up. So yeah, like I say, stage 1 we're nearly done pretty much. Just get the structure finished and then start painting it, making it look a bit prettier, you know, clean this floor and move my gear in and put some foam on top of the mezzanine here for me to sleep on, and, you know, all of this stuff. So yeah, just thinking, I want more beer. About done for the day, so that's it for day 9, I think, team. I must admit, the cedar does, everything else is muddy and shit, but the cedar looks really nice on the inside, so I definitely will leave the at least upper section above the desk unpainted on those. I'm going to do it on the doors in here as well, just leave that unpainted as well. It does look pretty cool. So tomorrow, I'm try and hang the door again, and hopefully get that sorted well enough so that I can start painting and doing all the other shenanigans. Alrighty team, you all have a good one, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.